You're listening to Cloudcast by Woolpert Digital Innovations, an audiocast that highlights our belief that technology can empower people to transform the world. As a Google Cloud Premier Partner, we have one mission: to increase the capabilities of people and the performance of the organizations we serve. Hi, everyone. I'm Grace Opena.
And I'm Nick Miceli.
Thanks for tuning in. We are excited to talk about today's episode because it's quite different from the location based solutions that our team usually tackles. For this episode, we'll talk cloud foundations. But before we proceed, a little background about yours truly and my co host. So, Nick and I were both customer engineers here at Woolpert. I've been with the company for almost 2 years now, associate Google Cloud engineer and digital leader, and my focus is on Google Maps and Workspace solutions. Nick?
I've been with Woolpert for a little over a year, and I'm a Google Cloud certified architect. As part of my day-to-day tasks, I help customers on their journey to the cloud, which leads us to our topic for today's audiocast, Cloud Foundations.
So, Nick, glad that you mentioned customers. I know that our customers reach out to our team with a problem and we find that they are a candidate for cloud foundations. Can you talk about what is the problem?
Well, one of the things I love about GCP is just how easy it is to get started. With only a credit card and a Gmail account, individuals and companies can start deploying resources and building out their cloud environment. And that's great. But over time, doing it that way becomes harder to manage. In a company, different people or departments will be spinning up projects. But without oversight or governance, it becomes harder to ensure that everything's secure. And it's easy to lose control of resources. Heck, in some cases, customers are paying for services they're not even using because someone spun up some resource and then forgot about it. So this is where Cloud Foundations comes in. It's a solution to all of these resource management concerns.
It's good that you elaborated on these because a lot of times customers do not even realize they have resource management issues until they are in situations like we don't know who has the ownership access to this rogue Google Cloud project. And we both know that it's very difficult to get them out of it. So, with that, what is Cloud Foundations and how does it help resolve or prevent the problems you mentioned?
Cloud Foundations is a collection of Google tools and opinionated best practices on how to create a Google Cloud environment. It's basically a set of products and principles that you can use to ensure that your Google Cloud estate is secure, cost-effective, because let's be honest, we all hate to waste money, and easy to manage.
So, is Cloud Foundations this promising solution to end our customers' resource management woes? Like, how does Cloud Foundations work?
Well, Cloud Foundations starts with a Google product called Cloud Identity. Cloud Identity lets you create and manage your own Google login accounts. A lot of customers start out using their personal Gmail accounts to create their projects, and that's great because it's easy. But what happens when a person who's spun up Google Cloud projects leaves the company? If they didn't configure another person as a project owner, and few people ever think to do that, you're going to find yourself effectively locked out of your own project. And if it's a mission critical project, well, let's just say that's not a pleasant solution to find yourself in.
Mhm.
Another problem with using Gmail accounts is that the company has no control over the security of those accounts. Now, I'm sure everyone has run into password complexity rules. You try to create an online account of some kind, and the system says that you need a minimum of 10 characters in your password, or that you need upper and lowercase characters, or that you need special characters like hashtags and exclamation marks. And creating passwords like that is a bit of a nuisance, right? Or that they want you to use multi-factor authentication. Also a nuisance. Or they want you to change your password periodically. That's the worst, right? Except that all these things are crucial, absolutely crucial to keeping your accounts safe. And yet, left to their own devices, some people will undoubtedly choose a simple password, will not choose to set up multi-factor authentication, and will keep the same password forever. And that's the problem with using Gmail accounts to let your users log into your corporate Google Cloud projects. You have absolutely no control over what they choose to do with their password management. But that's where Cloud Identity comes in. With Cloud Identity, you create your own user accounts that your employees can use to access your Google Cloud projects. You control how complex those passwords need to be and whether or not to enforce multi-factor authentication and periodic password changes based on what you and your security team decide is best for your company.
Those are great points on cloud identity, and let's dive into that more. So, say my company already has Microsoft Active Directory with all my user accounts in there and password security rules configured. Do I have to re enter all that into cloud identity?
Nope, not at all. Cloud Identity integrates with Active Directory, Azure AD, Okta, and a bunch of other identity providers. When we can configure user auto provisioning, which means that you can choose users in Active Directory to automatically sync to Cloud Identity, and we can configure single sign-on, which means that all the login security configurations you've already done in your Active Directory, Azure, or Okta environments can be used when logging into GCP. In other words, you can manage your users, passwords, and rules in one place and get the benefit of them in Google Cloud.
Well, that's super convenient, but hang on. Do I need to pay to use cloud identity and is it expensive?
Nope, it's free. It comes with Google Workspace. So if you're using Workspace, you already have Cloud Identity. And if you don't use Workspace, there's a free tier of Cloud Identity that you can use to get started.
Well, that's even better. Best things in life are free. But wait, just to be clear, is Cloud Foundations just cloud identity?
Not at all. Cloud Identity is just the first part. Once you set up Cloud Identity, Google automatically gives you a Google Cloud organization. That allows you to create folders to hold either projects or other folders. So if you think about a regular Windows hard drive, you have folders, and in those folders, you may have documents or you may have other folders. This gives you the ability to structure your documents hierarchically. So for example, you may have a folder called marketing. Inside that may be folders for individual marketing campaigns. And inside those may be documents. We take that exact same model and apply it to Google Cloud projects. So you might have top-level folders for your various business entities. Inside those, you might have folders for different initiatives within those business entities. Inside those, you might have folders for different environments like development, staging, and production. And inside those, you would have your projects.
Sounds like an easy way to find and organize your projects.
Oh, it is, but it also lets you manage them easier. You can set permissions at the folder level and have those permissions flow down throughout all the projects and folders in lower levels. So the head of the marketing department may have rights set at the marketing level folder, which would give her rights to all the marketing projects. But you might give the development team rights to only the dev folder. This way, instead of having to visit multiple projects to assign rights, you can assign them hierarchically. It's easy to manage, and it makes it much less likely to make a mistake when assigning permissions, which helps to make your cloud more secure.
Okay, so is Cloud Foundations Cloud Identity and Google Cloud Organizations?
They're the products that Google offers to organize your GCP environment, but there are still the opinionated best practices. Google has recommendations on how to structure your networking, both within and between projects, how to set up consolidated logging, how to configure role-based access controls, how to configure key and secrets management, how to monitor for threats, and most importantly, how to create new GCP resources using infrastructure as code.
Thanks for that clarification. So we've been talking about Cloud Foundations as a Google offering, but we are Woolpert, and it begs the question, what's Woolpert's role in delivering this solution to the customers?
Google provides a 96-page guide on how to implement Cloud Foundations. They also offer sample Terraform scripts to deploy a starter GCP environment. But even with all that, implementing Cloud Foundations can be a very difficult task. Woolpert helps to make it easy. We have years of experience with Google Cloud and a close working relationship with Google, and we bring that to every Cloud Foundations deployment. We start by meeting with the client to discuss their specific needs. We customize Google's Terraform scripts to meet the customer requirements, and then we deploy those scripts to build out the foundation. We configure Cloud Identity to integrate with the client's existing identity provider, and we help the client set up their permission structure to ensure that their environments are secure. When we're done, the client has a fully realized cloud landing zone that they can use to build the resources they need to provide products and services to their customers, secure the knowledge that their cloud environment has been designed from the ground up to be fast, secure, and resilient.
I see. So with scoping and delivery work, let's tackle the million-dollar question, or questions rather. How much does it cost and how long does it take to deliver this solution?
Well, that really depends on the client. We work closely with the client to determine their needs, and sometimes they don't need some of the features that Cloud Foundations addresses. For example, say that they don't currently have an identity system like Active Directory. In that case, they'll be using Cloud Identity as their only provider, so they don't need us to set up that user auto provisioning and single sign-on that we discussed earlier. Or maybe their network requires connectivity to an on-premise data center or another cloud. These all will affect how long the process takes and how much it ultimately will cost.
And I agree. It all boils down to the scope, really. Well, thanks, Nick, for sharing all this great information about cloud foundations. I believe that's it for this episode. Again, thanks for joining me and Nick, and thank you to anyone who tuned in. We hope this conversation resonated with you, and if you're interested to learn more, Nick, how can listeners get in contact with us?
You can visit our Cloud Foundations landing page at innovations.woolpert.com/cloud-essentials. For any inquiries or to get started, you can email our team at cloudsuccess@woolpert.com. We'll leave that in the description for this audiocast, so feel free to reach out if you're interested to learn more.
There you have it. Thanks again, everyone. Bye.
Bye.